Stuart Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
5 minutes.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure to put a contribution towards this budget debate. And might I say before I start, Mr. Speaker, that last week was a lot of fun. My first budget, my first time in extended urgency, and to have all the people lined up on our benches on Saturday night was really great to be a part of that and a great moment. So I look forward to many more. Mr. Speaker, I want to focus tonight on ultra-fast broadband and a rollout of the Rural Broadband Initiative. And my colleague, the Honourable Amy Adams, this is a fantastic initiative, and I think the importance of it to rural New Zealand and New Zealand as a whole, I think, has gone past many people, and I'd like to just make sure that we dwell on. That's right. Well, this is $360 million of funding targeted to deal with ultra-fast broadband, rural broadband and mobile black spots. But if we take those one at a time, in where I live in Blenheim, I have just recently had there's a piece appeared in the Herald and in the local Marlborough Express about a deputy principal at Marlborough Boys College who shifted down from Auckland. He realised that to reach his Kiwi dream of having a good house and a good place to live in Auckland was going to be very difficult for him. He looked around the country and decided to settle in Blenheim. So he and his wife moved down there, no connections to Blenheim. They ended up now owning a much higher quality house than they'd have been able to buy in Auckland at a much lower price with a smaller mortgage and a very short drive to work and a great place to live. But of course, one of the things that those people will be looking for is to enjoy the connectivity that they can enjoy in a major metropolitan area. And fortunately, Blenheim is one of those towns that is now fully fibred, and so they're able to enjoy that. And they're one of the things that people look to when they make a decision about where they're going to live. This is a major opportunity for rural New Zealand and provincial New Zealand. People are struggling in Auckland trying to buy houses, and we're trying to deal with that, but in the meantime there's a wonderful opportunity for regional New Zealand. All you have to do is put your hand up and tell a good story. So moving on to rural broadband, Mr. Speaker. Farms now today and rural businesses are modern businesses that absolutely rely on good connectivity. Farmers, not just internet banking, although that's a very important part of it, farmers have had to deal with satellite internet connections in the most part in rural, quite isolated areas. And unfortunately, with the security systems that banking requires on the internet and the way that satellites work with bursts of information going up and down, it simply won't work on, in most cases, on a banking system. So that doesn't work for them. So that's not the answer. So they are working on those satellite systems, but they're very expensive. But Rural Broadband Initiative offers a really good way for solutions to be found locally. And I had the pleasure on Monday night of attending 2 meetings in my electorate around putting a bid together for a Marlborough solution alongside the contestable fund for the Rural Broadband Initiative. And this is really a great example of a community getting together and working together for a local initiative to solve a local problem. And, Mr. Speaker, we can do it in a very cost-effective way. And I can give you an example. In the southern part of the electorate, the Amuri Basin had the same problem, and a local guy got sick of trying to deal with it through the normal channels, so he got off his backside and started AmuriNet. Now, the AmuriNet provides high-speed broadband via wireless right around that Amuri Basin, and they've extended it out to much greater areas than that. That is a local solution for a local problem, but a very modern solution with high-speed internet. And that technology, Mr. Speaker, is moving on as we speak. I heard yesterday from a local person in Marlborough, they are putting together a package for a 14-home subdivision where they can provide 1.2 gigabits via wireless. And I hope in the near future to hold an event here in the Beehive to demonstrate that technology, which is a major step forward. So fibre is the ultimate, but it's not suitable everywhere, but there are other solutions. So, Mr. Speaker, it's with great pleasure I commend what is a very commendable budget to the House. Thank you.